Hey everyone, Theron Asbury here with Revital Outdoors, bringing you another exciting podcast. Tonight we have Mr. Evan Eldred back on the podcast. Evan did a pre-tournament podcast with us for the 2022 BFL All-American on Lake Hamilton last week, and then he had so much fun that he decided to get third place on the co-angler side of the tournament this last week. So we're very excited to have Evan back on the podcast. He's going to talk about his top 5 finish at the 2022 BFL All-American on Lake Hamilton in Hot Springs, Arkansas. That happened this last week. A lot of great content coming your way. You're not going to want to miss this. Before we get started, let's pause for a few seconds for a quick commercial. Are you an outdoor enthusiast that has considered using CBD products, but you're not sure what to buy or what to look into? And then you're also scared about failing a drug test? Well, let's answer a few of those questions. First and foremost, Revital Outdoors is committed to being a worker-friendly brand. None of our CBD products contain THC. We are THC free, made right here in America, and we are committed to staying that way. So no one using our products will ever have to fear about failing a drug test. Secondly, here are 3 products that we recommend to all first-time users to get the most maximum results. Starting with our 25 milligram everyday soft gels. These are one of our best sellers. We recommend these to all first-time users so you get the most maximum result. They provide all that inflammation relief that you're wanting and all the other benefits of a premium CBD product. All of our everyday soft gels are nano emulsified, meaning they dissolve very, very quickly and get into your system to give you that maximum result. So inflammation relief, anxiety relief, help sleeping at night. That's what you're going to get with our 25 milligram everyday soft gels. And then does everything just hurt? Do you have trouble with your arms, your hands, your joints, your back and shoulder? Do you have aches and sorenesses in all of those different areas, but you're not sure how to combat it? Well, check out our premium unscented cream. This bottle contains 250 milligrams of our premium CBD oil. It applies very, very easily. You can spread it around the area that you're having the most trouble with. It absorbs very, very quickly into your pores and gives you that inflammation relief that you're seeking in your joints or different muscle areas. And then finally, do you get those midday aches and sorenesses that are holding you back when you're on the water or in the field, and you want to have just a little something to give you that extra relief that you need? Well, then check out our very tasty premium CBD gummies. Each gummy contains 10 milligrams of our premium CBD oil. We have 2 flavors in our gummies, which is strawberry lemonade and then green apple. Each bottle contains 30 gummies, which is a 1-month supply, and it gives you that midday relief that you're seeking to help you perform better out on the water or in the field. These are the 3 products that we recommend to all first-time users. Check them out on our website. The link is below in the description. Use the code YouTube20 to save 20% off your order. And never forget, when you spend $100 or more on your order, you get free 2-day shipping. That being said, let's get back to the podcast. All right. Thank you for joining us back on the podcast. Again, we have Mr. Evan Eldred from Michigan, a 2022 BFL All-American co-angler who finished 3rd place this last week in the tournament. So we're very excited to interview Evan. Before we get started, Revital Outdoors is very excited to announce we are still taking entries into our $2,500 Sweepstakes giveaway. This giveaway features products from Flambeau Outdoors, Costa Del Mar, the Rod Gloves, Cigar Line, Lose, Strike King, and Tackle Warehouse. You're not going to want to miss out on an opportunity to win this. It just takes a few seconds to enter. All you have to do is hit that link right directly below the video at the top of the description. So make sure you do it. Again, if you're an avid angler out there, you're not going to want to miss this. And that lucky winner will be chosen at the end of the BFL season. Also, check out our Facebook and Instagram. That's for Vital Outdoors. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you get notified when all of our content is dropping. With that being said, let's go ahead and get back to the great state of Michigan to welcome Mr. Evan Eldred back into the studio. Evan, first and foremost, congratulations on your top 5 finish at the All-American. It was really cool to talk to you before the tournament. You were very excited. You were very humble, too, and you just seemed very, very relaxed. I kind of knew after talking to you, you were going to have a good tournament, and then lo and behold, you ended up 3rd place. So, man, let's just go from start to finish. The All-American is the most coveted tournament. We talked about that last week for a weekend angler. And, talk to us about getting down there to Hot Springs. What was the town like of Hot Springs? What was practice like for you? And then walk us through the tournament.
Just want to first off say thanks for having me back on. I was excited to be on the first time, so to be on the second time is even better. So tournament recap went down on the Saturday before. Quite the hike down there from here, a little over 13 hours. Got down there, fished a local lake, as I'd said on the last one. Got out there, did the pre-practice on Monday. Found fish kind of everywhere. No size, no true patterns. They were all over. went out Wednesday and practiced my day one boater, Hunter Eubanks. He ended up taking second in the tournament. That guy can catch him. We ended up finding him up pretty shallow, a lot shallower, I think, than most were checking. So day one, him and I both got off to a good start, and I was sitting in second place with 9:15. Had almost a 4-pounder in the bag that really helped me get up there. And then second day was a little tougher. Dropped back to sixth. Only had almost 4 pounds, so about the size of one of my fish from the day before. And then day three it was another tough one, but tough for all the co-anglers. Ended up getting 4 fish in the boat. Caught one with 3 minutes left in the tournament that weighed maybe a pound. Jumped me up a spot or two. So it was a good tournament through and through. It's a grinder. Lake Hamilton is an awesome place. It was definitely alive. The city of Hot Springs was cool. Some awesome tackle shops in the town that we don't really get to see here in Michigan. So, it was a great weekend, great week out there.
Absolutely. Well, Evan, very excited to have you back on the podcast. Usually I tell everybody when we have you back on the podcast for the second time, that usually means some things really worked out. So really excited to see you do so well. Hunter Eubanks, a member of the Revital Outdoors pro staff. That boy can't catch him. He's so cool because he's so laid back, and he just is really funny to talk to. He's got a dry sense of humor, but that boy, when he gets on the water, it's like he turns it on. He can catch them all around the country. So I knew when I saw that you had drawn out with him, I'm thinking, I talked to him right before the tournament. Those boys are going to have a sack, both of them. So
yeah, that guy is something else. His wheels are always turning all day. I mean, I fished with a ton of different co-anglers or a ton of different boaters before, and he was, I get to know him, like what they do outside of fishing. Not Hunter. He only thinks and talks about fishing when he's on the water. So to fish with him was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It's funny because he's got a newborn baby boy, and he's got another one on the way. And he actually brought him to the Classic this year when we were up there in South Carolina. And he was already talking to him about catching perch off the dock and, taking him out in the boat and how he was, gripping the reel handle and already getting started. I'm like, Hunter, does he do anything besides fish? Like, it's really interesting. Through and through, his whole family's in fishing, so that's really cool. But, it's really awesome to see a co-angler do well in that tournament. It's hard enough. I think it's harder for the co-anglers to qualify for that All-American than it is for the boaters, just for the simple fact is there's so many factors against you as a co-angler going into tournaments. And what I mean by that is you don't know who you're going to draw. A lot of times you get to practice, it's a waste of time because your boater's probably going to be doing something completely different. There's times that you don't really get a whole voice in the how the day goes down, what you get to want to fish or want to fish. And I just have tremendous respect for all the co-anglers out there that have qualified, especially for someone like Daniel Brushwell, who's not only qualified for the All-American twice, he's won it twice. And it's just like,
that's crazy.
Damn, Daniel, like, so,
yeah.
But even for you, Evan, I know that this was the pinnacle of your co-angler career. Now you moved into that boater position because you won that boat at the regional. So, fishing the All-American this week, knowing how well you did, how much more compelled are you to get back there as a boater now?
I'm hoping I can make it here soon. I'm going to put in 110%. As a co-angler, you don't really have to go out there and do 2-3 days on the water for practice. You don't know what the cards are going to be, as you'd said. Practice really doesn't do a ton for co-anglers, but I'm ready for the boater side. I'm going to give them everything I got and hopefully make it to the regional and then maybe back to the All-American someday.
Absolutely. It's a great thing to put on the resume. I get a lot of questions working in the industry. How do you get sponsors? How do you get sponsors? How do you get sponsors? There's several different ways to approach it. But, everyone that I've talked to that made that final day, that Saturday championship day, with the amount of media that contacts you to get storylines, that wants to know how you did your tournament, now you understand one little piece of how you get sponsors is because when you get that media exposure, that goes a long ways for companies. And Evan, I know you represented well. You were very thorough on the stage when you were talking. But I do have to ask, how are you able to kind of put together to catch your fish? You don't have to be too specific, but were you throwing finesse baits? Were you dragging behind the boat, throwing top water? What did you end up doing?
every day was a little bit of everything. There, even with Hunter, we caught him really shallow, but him and I spent the day out in 15 foot of water for a while. So I just put together a good combo of junk fishing reels and rods. I had a shaky head on the deck, wacky rig, a jig, and a Carolina rig. Um, I'm not much of a topwater guy, but a lot of the boaters were really catching them on topwater. But mostly just dragging baits out deep and then flipping under docks with that shaky head jig and wacky rig. So a little bit of everything. Just constantly had those and was switching through the baits over and over and trying to get those bites. It was tough out there.
I got you. So, overall, what was your take from Lake Hamilton? Anybody that goes there, not necessarily fishing the All-American, but maybe you got a son that wants, or a dad that wants to take his son fishing there in the month of June. They're on vacation. Kids are out of school. Maybe you got a tournament coming up, Tuesday night or Thursday nighter. What would be your ultimate recommendation on how to catch fish on Hamilton this time of year in the month of June?
Honestly, the most consistent pattern, in my opinion, is probably the shallow docks. They're really easy. You don't have to have any electronics to target them. You can see them. Look for the shade when it's hot out. If you got some cloud cover, you can fish out around them a little more. Wacky rig's a great way to skip up under there without blowing up a bait caster. So, and then if you do have some electronics, go check out the points. Pretty much any point, if you can find a brush pile, drag a shaky head or Carolina rig over it, and that's a for sure way to get bit out there.
For sure. So, well, Evan, before I let you go, I know you got a great family support system behind you. We talked about that, but I want to know, first and foremost, I want you to give a thank you to anybody that's helped you, not only in your tournament career, but that helped you get to the All-American. And then what's your goals for the rest of 2022? What's Evan Eldred fishing the rest of 2022?
Absolutely. Always my friends and family. Like I said, they're my little cheerleaders back home. They get me through the tough days. They help me out in the good days too. My fiance, she puts up with a ton. I don't know how she does it. I'm gone all the time and staying out late on the water. And I don't have any true sponsors out there right now. I do want to say thanks to Taking All Bets. They've helped me out some this year. It's a great company. Got to know them some. And just check out their apparel. It goes to a good cause. And then for the rest of 2022, as you said earlier, switching over to the boater side. So I got my first BFL here in Michigan in 2 or 3 weeks. It's June 25th. So we're going to start breaking down some water out there. Got a lot of Canadian water I got to start breaking down. That's new to me. And then I thought this was my last tournament as a co-angler, but finishing pretty high in the All-American qualified me for the Toyota Series Championship. So in November, I got one more co-angler tournament, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That's very interesting. So now you get to go to the Toyota Series Championship on Lake Gunnersville in Alabama. Oh my goodness. Like, I can't even imagine what's going to happen in that tournament. I see the amount of Bass Pro Tour anglers, Pro Circuit anglers, even Elite Series anglers that are fishing the Toyota Series this year trying to make that tournament. It's the biggest payday that Major League Fishing has to offer. I assume you've never been to Gunnersville. What are you thinking so far?
One time I went for the 50th.
Good.
Yeah, I was down there for the 50th Classic right before they shut us all down for COVID.
Okay.
So going in the fall is going to be completely different. I know the grass is going to get way up and, do my research, get down there, maybe get some practice in and just be along for the ride and go fishing.
If I had to, I know you're a co-angler going into it. Well, as a co-angler, let's just give the prediction as a co-angler. As a co-angler in the fall, that time of year, I'm going to guess it's going to take probably close to 45. I mean, I hate to say that, but you're going to have a co-angler come in with probably over 20 pounds, and then he's going to have day two, he's going to have like 14, 15, and then day three, he could come in with a 16, 17 pound. There's going to be a lot of fish weight in. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, so might be a little more fun than fishing Lake Hamilton, but we'll see how it goes.
For sure. So, well, Evan, really appreciate you coming on the podcast again. For all the listeners out there, we've been talking to Mr. Evan Eldred. a Michigan angler who competed as a co-angler in the 2022 BFL All-American, where he finished third place. So we're excited to see him now join the ranks as a boater, and we wish him all the best of luck in 2022, as well as all the other anglers out there. Hope to have Evan back on our podcast again very soon, because that usually means very good news. So before we let everybody go, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, you've been watching the rotating banner below this video. Hit that link at the top of the description right below this video to enter into that sweepstakes giveaway. Again, a lot of great partners in the fishing industry in on this, so no angler is going to want to miss a chance on losing out on not winning this one. So make sure you hit that link and get in. From all of us at Revital Outdoors, I'm Theron Asbury. Thank you for tuning into this podcast. Be safe out there. God bless. We'll talk to everyone very, very soon.